This is the Marty Sheargold Show on Triple M, and the AFL finals are on Fox, available on Foxtel and KO Sports.
Yes.
And Fox cricket commentator Adam Gilchrist. Marty, where's in the studio right now?
Are they too loud for you? Are those headphones okay?
They're all right?
Earphones?
Yeah.
They're not big enough. I'd need the triple XLs.
Oh, do you want Matthews? Because they're too big for me and they're my headphones.
No, these are fine.
Okay.
Just tuck my left ear in.
You look great, by the way. You
Tell me
always
it looks like a
you look stunning.
V-dub. You know, like a little Beetle car with the side door open. Just that left one. Just
Did you ever think about, and please don't take this the
Hey.
wrong way,
go.
getting
I know.
them pinned back?
That, I didn't know I had big ears until Mum asked me if I wanted them pinned back.
Oh, no. How old were you?
And then about 12.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Because you could have hid them with hair and stuff, because you've still got hair.
I
You've got
tried to
very-
grow my hair over them.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite work because
No.
Dad gave me the bowl cut, had
Yeah,
the
of
straight
course.
fringe and all that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
I want to talk to you about
to
that
catch up.
because
straight out of the gate.
I didn't realise how much you moved around as a kid. You lived
Yeah.
in Dorrigo, Junee, Deniliquin, and then you ended up moving up to Queensland, or northern New South Wales rather, in Lismore.
Yep.
Why so much moving?
Old man was a teacher
Right.
and then went into the administrative side of education and
Right.
sort of went up the ranks.
So that explains that.
Yeah, just skipping around. But
Did you-
Yeah, Southern Riverina, Danny.
Yeah.
Anyone been to Deniliquin?
No.
Oh, years
I've
ago.
heard the Ute Muster's
Yeah.
amazing.
Huge. That wasn't around
When
we
you were a
kid.
kid. No.
yeah.
They had a big sign as you drove into Denny. It had like a mother and father rabbit and 3 little rabbits, and it said, "Do it in Denny."
Oh,
That
good.
was the slogan.
right.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They're really
Yeah.
encouraging it.
Yeah, that was it. We were
They
proud
get
of
it.
it.
No wonder the
We
Ute
were
Muster's
proud of
there.
it.
There'd be a bit of that going on in the
That
old,
was my
in the flat tray.
That was my primary school years down there,
Do it in Denny.
and that's when I fell in love with the Carlton Football Club. So
Well, that's why we're talking to you partly. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you've got your cricket responsibilities over summer, but of course, the finals are on Fox, and you're a massive Carlton Blues fan. You're in town to talk it up. Not that you need to, because,
everyone's
I
talking
mean,
about it.
Jesus,
It's been a while.
It is that
Been a
time of
while.
year.
Yeah, it is. It's quite exciting.
Did you
actually.
did you play a football code as a kid?
Yep.
What you played this?
Yeah.
Aussie rules as
Yeah,
it's
so
called
after-
nationally.
Yeah, so primary school years in Deniliquin,
Mm.
and then we moved to Northern New South Wales, which is rugby league heartland.
Yes.
But
Oh, yeah.
it was just at the same time that the Swans had gone to Sydney.
Right.
So they were out spreading the gospel across New South Wales as much as they could. So we had, development officers and AFL footy people coming to the school, and I worked out. I played 1 year of rugby league, and I worked out it's more skillful to run away from the opponent than run straight up at him.
Yeah.
180-degree
yeah.
games. That's
So
just
I,
a
and
collision.
I worked out how soft I was. So I like footy more than league.
And
yeah.
were you any good? I'm imagining you were.
Yeah, outstanding.
Yeah, I would have thought so with your hand-eye.
We had in the change rooms in the Australian team one day. There was a rain delay, and we're sitting around, and we threw it around. Said, "Oh, okay, let's take it for granted that cricket was everyone's best
Love.
sport,
Yeah,
because they're playing for Australia, so it must have been pretty good at that. But what was your best other sport?"
right.
And Ricky Ponting, Aussie rules.
Yep.
Warney, Aussie rules.
Yep.
Loved it.
Yep.
I said Aussie rule.
Mm.
Mark Waugh, golf, soccer, tennis.
He couldn't
peeled
pick.
off all. He played Australian junior representative across
Wow.
all
Wow.
that stuff. But no, I loved footy. Yeah, and then up on the far north coast, played as much as we could up there, and then yeah, it's amazing how much energy you get at a cricket training session when you're absolutely knackered. When
And a footy
a
comes
red
out.
Sharon comes
Yeah,
out.
everyone's ready to
Warney
go.
was svelte. He was quick.
Bang.
He went.
Yeah, he was
It's
onto
still
it.
very popular with the current playing group. They
Yeah,
love their footy.
but they keep the trainers. See, this is the issue. The physios and all that come and say,
No,
Can't do it.
not doing
you
that.
blow a hamstring
Yeah.
out kicking a Sharon and you're
Yep.
in trouble.
Yep.
When you were in Lismore, you started obviously playing Shield cricket in New South Wales and then moved to WA.
Yep.
What was the split there like? How long were you in either of those?
I played 10 games for New South Wales over 2 seasons,
And then bang.
and then couldn't get a Guernsey wicketkeeper.
Who was keeping you out of that team?
Phil Emery.
He was a
which
good
is
keeper, Phil
not
Emery.
yeah, but not as good as you. You told me one night.
Well, Gilly and I are the same age, and as I said to Gilly, very lucky that he kept with it. Because I very, very almost made the Associated Southern Colleges team.
Yeah,
I was beaten, but you know who knocked me out of the
I
team?
remember you saying,
George Gregan.
George Gregan, yes, who went on to bigger and better things.
Mate, it's very hard to crack a team when he's got the gloves on.
I remember Marty one night at a bar. I don't know what the event, but we find ourselves at a bar.
At a bar?
And I remember you saying to me, and early when we first met each other, you're going, "You're so lucky you could
Very
bat."
lucky.
You said, "You're so lucky you could bat." Because I've got the best hands in the business. I'm thinking, hang on, who is this bloke? What's he talking about his good hands?
Yeah. Telling the Australian keeper he's lucky he could bat, because I was one of the very rare wicket keepers in cricket that was scared of the cricket ball. Because does anything hurt more
little
than
occupational
being hit
hazard,
by
that.
a cricket ball? Is there anything in the world that hurts more in sport than being piffed by a cricket ball? Geez, they hurt.
Tackling Jonah Lomu might have been.
Yeah, that would hurt. That would hurt. Under 17 state team, and then
We're
obviously
going through the whole lot of it.
Well, I'm just looking
Can you
at.
guys just talk amongst yourselves while Marty?
I actually have a question about Northern New South Wales because I was at the Bangalow Hotel
Oh, good.
October last
Nice.
year.
Where's that?
What was
Well,
on there?
Well, it's Northern New South
Oh.
Wales, just west of Byron.
Yeah.
And I
Oh.
spotted your gloves that are supposedly from the 07 final
World Cup.
with
Oh,
the squash
wow.
ball.
The squash
And I
ball.
thought that's too good a piece of merch to just be sitting in the front bar of the Bangalow Hotel. Is
You
that
gave
legit?
that away?
No, they're fake.
I thought so.
Absolutely.
Are they?
Show me a look at that picture. I
That
just need to
can't be
find it.
real,
I was
surely.
sure they were sitting in my man cave. But
If you scroll across, the plaque says Gilly's
yeah,
actual
World
glove.
Cup 07. No, I definitely wore those at the World Cup in
But they're not.
2007,
But they're
they
not the
might
ones.
not be the ones in the final that I wore.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let him
Um,
have it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, that's not
So Adam
fair.
Zampa lives up there, so he's in the current Australian team. He's gone all, well, no, sorry, I shouldn't say gone all. He lives out on a little property out there. and
What were you
he,
going to say?
wears,
Go on, Bush.
he loves the herbal life out there on the farm.
Yeah,
And
of
he's
course
got
he
little
does.
goats with, he walks around in his little yak.
What, moccasins?
Where's this going?
I want to help, but I'm not sure how.
Alternative lifestyle.
Yak hide
Yak hide. He's a
Yeah.
yak hide guy.
loincloth.
Oh, really?
right.
He's a loincloth.
Well, I don't
man.
think he goes that far,
Tarzan.
but he lives near the pub. He sent me a photo similar to that one. So,
Did
did you like it up there? Northern New
it's
South-
unreal.
good spot.
Great spot. Yeah.
So
my-
bit sharky.
Yes.
Bit sharky for mine.
So I was born in a place called Bellingen,
Yeah.
which is a bit further south, but inland.
Mm.
And I went there, self-indulgent story, but bear with me. The Bradman Foundation offered anyone who'd captained Australian Test cricket, offered their hometown the opportunity to have a bust, a bronze bust, the head and shoulders statue
Nice.
built and put in the town square. Now, Bellingen's small town, really small dairy farming country. It's a beautiful place. So we went back there for the unveiling of this, and the Lord, town mayor's up there speaking about the prodigal son coming home and
Yeah.
how proud they were.
Nice.
And I was sitting there next to Mum, getting ready to go up and respond and unveil this thing. I knew we didn't live there long.
Mm.
And I said to Mum, the mayor's going off and the whole town's about
loving it.
600 people. And I said, Mum, how long did we live here again after I was born? 6 weeks. And the mayor's throwing high fives. He's come home.
He's back. His speech went longer than you lived there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was the homecoming.
Oh, it's nice to know it's
Yeah.
there, though. You
It
mean you
is,
must rest
yeah.
easy at night knowing there's a bronze bust in Bellingen. Why the Blues? Why Carlton? What got you onto the? Is it generational? Is it a family thing?
Yeah, no, late 70s when I was in Denny. was
Good
when,
team.
Yeah, it was when I got the age
Yeah.
when I was about 8 or 9 that I thought I'd better pick a team or start really taking notice. And obviously a few premierships through that sort of late 70s, early 80s. So they were good enough for me.
Absolutely.
Haven't been at a winning grand final. I was 99 when your mob tailed us off.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's see what happens.
Were you at the last final series, 2013? Did you see the game against Richmond?
No.
Ah, good game.
Collingwood Carlton last
Who
year.
Are you a Tiger?
No, I'm a Lions.
he's
man.
Lions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, box seat. I reckon they are number
And
one
he's
seeds at the
mad
moment.
Lions.
We could make
Number one seeds. 2
Yeah.
home games.
Yeah.
That could
Straight in.
destroy us, William.
I know.
Yeah, prelim if our blokes can get through there.
Get through
Yeah.
Collingwood, perhaps.
Yeah.
Which we have already.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let's just talk cricket again, because you know I love your cricket career. I always tell the story, and I don't know if I'm even telling the right story, but you dropped a catch in a test match
Plenty of catching.
late in your career, very late in your career.
Made me retire.
And that was the moment where you went,
Yep.
I've had enough.
Yep.
True story.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that was in what ended up being my retirement test match.
And what, you just thought, I don't want to do this, or I shouldn't be dropping that, or you're letting yourself down?
Yeah, it's a bit. It's not a fun, exciting story, but I got called up about 5 times when Ian Healy, he was my predecessor, and he was a guy that I aspired to be in that
Great gloveman.
position. Yeah, he was keeping perfection by the end of it. But he got injured a few times. He might have got suspended once. That's how I got my one-day international debut. But I got called up on standby in Test cricket a number of times, but didn't get a game because he got himself fit or whatever happened. I didn't play. And I remember rushing to the airport once to fly to the West Indies right near the end of his career. And I was sitting in the airport in Australia. They were playing a Test match, and he dropped a catch in a really crucial moment. He didn't miss many, but I remember watching it, and all my friends and family going, "You should be in there. You should by now."
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then I watched him drop his catch, and I thought, gee, he's moving just a bit slower than what I remember him in his prime. And sort of that was the first time I thought, Anyway, fast forward, I'm in
To
Adelaide.
Test 96.
My 96th Test match, we were in Adelaide. The night before, I'm organising with my wife on the phone about how we're going to go on tour of the West Indies, the next tour, and when the family's going to fly.
You're
I'm,
locked
I'm
in.
all sort of still pressing on. And the next day, day one of that Test match, I dropped this catch. Absolute, what they call sitter. And they replay it for the 67th time on the big screen. I go, I reckon everyone's seen it, champ.
I reckon we've all seen it now.
But I watched that replay, and I remember me watching Ian Healy thinking
the whole
just
thing.
behind the pace, just
behind it.
Not horrible, not letting the whole country down or yourself down, but I just knew, and I thought that was Heels, and I said to Matty Hayden, I said, I'm done, I'm out.
Oh, really?
And he said, oh, come on, mate, you've dropped plenty of those. It won't be the last one you drop. You'll be right. But I got home that night, back to the hotel, rang Mel and said, I'm done, I'm out. And we announced it the next day. So
It's a big call.
that was enough.
Huge.
But it's good. I mean, it's funny talking about that reflectively. You think a lot of them. We got a reunion coming up. You talk about the New South Wales days when I was in and out of the team.
An Australian team?
A New South Wales 1990. How's my age going? 1992, 93, 93, 94. We won the Sheffield Shield.
Bang. Back to back.
And we've got a big reunion coming out. And this is guys
Couple of
like
beers
Greg
that night.
Matthews, Mike Whitney.
Oh, my God.
All those icons.
There won't be enough Tuies in the country. You'll have to drink an awful beer that night. Is it in New South Wales? You'll either be having Reshes or Tuies. You should call in sick now because you're going to be sick for a week after it. What about the 204 not out? Remind me where that was.
That was in Johannesburg.
Who was bowling?
I feel like I'm boring everyone else.
No,
in
no,
this room.
no,
We're all
no,
having a great chat.
Our listeners will be loving this.
Yeah.
Who was bowling that through that test?
Oh, the South Africans. So Alan Donald, Sean Pollock. But the
Good
story
lineup.
about that
It's
one.
Good starting to. Was Donald as quick as they say he
He
was?
was good. He was right at the back end of his career, but he was quick.
Yeah.
White Lightning, they called him.
Yeah.
So, that was, over in 2002 in South Africa.
Yeah.
And there was a gold company in South Africa that had a big billboard on the side of the ground, like square of the wicket, that a big promotion. If any player could hit the ball and hit that sign, you got basically $250,000 of gold.
How much did you miss it by?
Well, we came in under the bus would come into the ground and drive under that sort of where that billboard was, and you could see from there out to the middle of the ground. And on that morning before we batted, I remember looking, there's no way anyone's hitting it that far. It's like
That's miles away.
Unrealistic to think that's ever going to go off. So we go, and I'm out there batting, and I absolutely cream this ball, and it's dead on track.
You're thinking,
It's
I've
gone.
won it.
And I'm going, get up, get up. Because I knew how big a hit it was. Get up. And the thing flew over the top.
Oh,
Straight
no way.
over the top.
Wow.
And I looked around at the change, and all the boys are like, couldn't believe it. And I love the fact they thought they were going to share in the prize money. So, missed out there. But
Mate, you've got other things you need to go and do. Finals on Fox, and, of course, the summer of cricket on Fox Cricket as well. It's always lovely to see you. Thank you for your time, mate.
Great to catch up, guys.
Good on
Love
you,
the
Gilly.
show. Good to get in here.